Good morning everyone, welcome to a new update and Bitcoin is attacking the supports once again. What's going to happen from here? Are we going to have a bounce or are we going to see 20k? That's the title of this YouTube video and we're going to discuss it as well, including Ethereum and Cardano at this point, as we can see that not everything is crashing down too much. But if you're looking at the USD values, the primary validation and primary mover of the USD values is Bitcoin. If you want to look at the altcoins and if they are showing strength, you have to look at the Bitcoin pairs because that's comparing it with Bitcoin in general. But before we are going to continue, do not forget to subscribe beneath and also like if you enjoy the content that I'm producing. And finally, if you want to see some content you didn't see yet, please comment on the YouTube video beneath. So let's get to the charts. In which we can see that on this very blurry chart or with lots of squigglies, we are still making lower highs. And we said that we wanted to see this test of support at 34k. However, if we're going to lose 34k, a second scenario starts to develop in general. So from now we can see that we've rejected 34 and we've bounced beneath, therefore granting us the second scenario that I've been posting on social media. The first one was that we were going to hold 34 and bounce back up, in which we were able to attack 37.5, and then this primary downtrend for now seemed to be over. However, we couldn't hold 34k and therefore we have granted or lost the entire higher low structure that we're seeing here, and then we're going to seek for the next scenario that I've written down here, which is, if we look at the entire structure, we can still see that 28 or at least 29.5 to 32.5 is a very important and crucial support to hold on to. Especially given that that's the block of support before we started to accelerate to the upside, as we can see a retest at 29.3. So this is the very easy or understandable support that we have to dive into in order to grant ourselves support, but also to make a bullish divergence. And you can see if you go back in history, many times we've had a bullish divergence marking the actual low of a corrective move, after which strength was seen. Therefore, if 29.5 to 32.5 is going to sustain as the scenario is making us, or as the scenario looks like it will, we are done with the correction and we can start grinding further upwards. However, I still believe that this cycle is going to last longer than the previous one. But if we do not hold 29.5 to 32.5, I'm going to target the all-time high region and I'm going to target the next area of support around 23. So for now, I'm assuming that this scenario is going to be playing out, especially given that this corrective move of today is already giving us a potential bullish divergence, given that these candles are way higher than the current candle. So preferably today or tomorrow you'd want to see a big bounce upwards, and then we can see 35 to 36 and maybe even high 38, and then we can confirm that the bullish divergence is done, and then we can start reversing. So this is my primary scenario at this stage. This is tapping liquidity beneath those lows, funding is negative, sentiment is a funeral, which are ingredients for further upwards momentum, or at least a bounce. If we look at Ethereum, you can see that it's very much stronger than what we can see on Bitcoin at this stage, and that's because of the Bitcoin pair doing really well. We can see that Ethereum against USDT is showing strength, but couldn't break through the resistance zone as we couldn't break through this one here. Therefore, 2500 is also lost. That's the area that we see here, support zone, and if that is lost, you're going to look at the next one. And if you've been following me on Twitter, you would have seen that 23 to 24 is a critical area of support and the final hurdle. So also Ethereum is at the final hurdle of support. If that is lost, I'm going to look at this region here. So at this stage, you can see that Bitcoin is actually making new lows or getting towards new lows, while Ethereum is still just consolidating and trying to make a new higher low, which is because of the Bitcoin pair doing really strong. You can see that this one is still grinding upwards and currently attacking the resistance zone. However, the entire structure that we have here is very comparable to 2016, any of these two, and 2017, in which we just have a consolidation period. Therefore, I'm also assuming that the moment that Bitcoin is bottoming out, you will see that altcoins start to continue their momentum because people feel safe to switch towards altcoins once again. Is it the right play to swap altcoins to Bitcoin? I don't believe so. The argument is seen here. I think it's actually a better moment to start swapping your Bitcoin towards altcoins. What is the critical area to hold for Ethereum? It's the area around 0.065 to 0.068. If we get a further downwards move on Bitcoin to 29, you might get a similar candle like we've seen on Ethereum here, in which we retest those lows. Probably due to panic, probably due to a heavy sell-off on Bitcoin, in which we quickly reverse. If we get in this region, I'm definitely going to be a buyer. Then Cardano against Bitcoin, which is actually showing us strength as well. The daily candles are not changing too much. In the past 4 days, we can see that the price barely moved, which is a strong signal that altcoins are still in a very nice bullish cycle, in which if we are able to break through this entire resistance zone, I think Cardano is going to have continuation to the upside. And there you can draw the Fibonacci extension tool to see what the next targets are for Cardano. And that is around 6,300 sats. Overall, this is a very strong signal, given the fact that usually when you see Bitcoin showing weakness, you will see altcoins continue to show their weakness. But at this case, with Cardano, with Theta and Ethereum and other altcoins, they are just showing strength, through which the assumption that altcoins will continue to do well is very much there. Cardano at USDT, still showing the exact same figure. Area to hold right now to grant ourselves higher lows is this entire region where it's dipping in. So probably we'll be getting quite soon to the bottom of this entire corrective move. Is Bitcoin going to drop towards 20k? I do not believe we will, but it's depending on the coming hours and depending on the structure, whether or not we are able to crack the next resistance at 35, whether or not we are going to have bullish divergence on lower time frames, and then possibly as well on the higher time frames. So that's what you should be watching. If you're in the markets, always remain calm, and I'll see you again tomorrow with 2 fresh market updates.